He called out to his mom, who died 2 years ago on the same day. Handcuffed, face down, knee on his neck. They did nothing. He called the officer, "Sir." They did nothing. He begged for his life, he begged for water, he begged for mercy. They did nothing. His nose bled, his body trembled, he lost control of his bladder. They did nothing. He cried out, "I can't breathe." They did nothing. 12 more times. "I can't breathe. I 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 can't breathe." But still, they did nothing. Deprived of oxygen, his organs screaming, his brain frantic. They did nothing. A black man, a gentle giant, murdered because he was black, and still they have done nothing. They watched George Floyd die, his life fading, a slow death, but still they did nothing. May justice be served. Hi guys, my name is Ropafadzo Dambire. If you're new, welcome to my channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. Now, as you can tell from the title box down below, today we're gonna be talking about Black Lives Matter. Yes, due to the current events, I figured it is time to share awareness and also to just speak out. I believe that it's better to speak up rather than to keep quiet. So, what is Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter is an international activist movement which originates from the African American community, and it campaigns against violence and racism towards the black people. Time and time again, it's as if being black cannot coexist with innocence. The George Floyd murder stretches beyond police brutality. It has showed us that institutionalized racism is alive and well in our society. Supporting a cause from another country does not mean you do not care about the injustice from your own country. It is about addressing problematic and racist symbolism from our history of colonialism and apartheid. We need to honor black humanity all over the world. It's high time that we as black people arise, know your rights, and black people know your worth. Now today, as we talk about Black Lives Matter, I'm joined by my dear friends. So I'm joined by Kumbi and Brendan and Tepiwa, Vimbai and Mufaro, and Helvi. Now, dear friends, please share your thoughts about the Black Lives Matter. In your opinion, what is it all about and what does it mean to you?
Black Lives Matter is a movement that has originated in the African American community in America that stands up for racism against the black people. As a black female in Namibia, I have experienced racism, and if there's a movement out there that supports my fellow black people that have been oppressed for hundreds of years, then I fully support it.
This brings me so much sadness that so many unarmed black African American men in America are getting shot, killed, murdered in broad daylight for doing absolute nothing at times, or for really petty crimes, like with George Floyd with the George Floyd case. He apparently presented a fake bill, which I assume in our English that's like fake note, a fake cash note, and it was just a fake $20 bill. And I read the 911 conversation. The officer did ask what is the man's race, and he actually first asked what is the gender, and then he asked for the race. And then I could tell from the conversation that the cashier who made the call was a little bit uncomfortable to answer these questions, and I could understand why, because like, what is the relevance? Yeah, I don't know guys, but this is very sad for me, and I just want to make my message clear that Black Lives Matter, and that can they please stop killing our brothers, our sons, our fathers. It's not okay to just see these things go wrong and stay silent.
So my opinions on the Black Lives Matter issue is that I think it's a very important movement because it brings together people from different backgrounds, from different races to look at an issue that is very messed up and discriminatory because it's not just a black versus white thing. This movement makes it a outraged people versus a messed up system thing, which I think is excellent because despite the fact that there are rules and laws in place um, that allude to the idea that we are all equal, that we're all on the same plane, the fact of it is that in practice, that's not what happens. So this movement acts as a catalyst towards change and uniting people who see the injustice in that. And that's wonderful. And it's not just limited to the US, it also includes Africa and the international community as a whole. Say, for example, within the international community, it's very easy to see the different the disparities in power of the different nations, like how the Western countries were prepared to just send over vaccines for testing in Africa, despite the fact that Africa had the lowest number of cases at the time and the lowest spreading rate, which didn't make sense. And yet, vice versa, this would not this would not have been an option for us if we were the ones suggesting this, if we were the ones saying, okay, we found a vaccine, we want to test it amongst your people. We don't have that greater say because we don't have that greater socioeconomic power, I guess. So I think this movement is great.
All right, so Black Lives Matter. It's been a big topic in the last 2 weeks now since the tragic death of George Floyd, and it's quite disheartening to hear that things like this are still happening in our day-to-day lives. And I don't understand how you can have blatant disregard for human life like that, even if it is a black life. Black lives do matter. They actually do matter. So I don't understand where it comes from and why it's still there today. So I think it goes down to education, in my own opinion, because I don't know if these racists know where, especially like in the US, where the black people came from in the first place. It was the white people from America who came to Africa to get slaves and take them to America. They didn't ask to be taken there. And so for them to act as if it's our fault for being black and black Americans to be in America, that's just nonsense to me, to say the least.
Kumbi and Brendan, recently I saw a post which said America is not the world. It got me thinking, do you think our thoughts are rather misplaced? That we as Africans should rather focus on our own situations, such as the tribalism and the failing governments?
Hey guys, my name is Kumbi and I am shooting this video from Cape Town, South Africa. Excuse the shades, I'm just trying to enjoy the last bits of the Cape Town sun before winter takes over. I think to some extent it would be ignorant of us not to take notice of what's going on in America, because America is not the world, but America influences the world in a big way. And oftentimes what becomes accepted in America gets accepted in a lot of places too, simply through cultural assimilation and stuff like that. So I think it is fair to care about what's going on there, even if you don't comment on it or whatever, but I think it's fair to care about what's going on in the USA and trust that to some extent it's going to have a trickle-down effect into other parts of the world as well. Kind of like things like the Me Too movement. People didn't say, oh, why should we care? That's only an issue in America, right? Like, people cared enough to start properly scrutinizing themselves as well, and it became like a hashtag Me Too in like all sorts of countries. Yeah, so that's my take on that. And I think maybe from a faith perspective, I'm a believer in Christ, and I believe that American brothers and sisters are my brothers and sisters as well. And so when something like this is a big issue, I think it is my duty as a fellow sister in Christ to stand with my brothers who are suffering and struggling at this time. So that's my take.
Racism is not for just America, it's for all of us. Because by when I say for all of us, I don't mean like it's a positive thing that, oh, my racism. No, I'm not saying it like that. But yeah, I'm saying it affects all of us. Doesn't matter if they're American, if they're European, if they're African, it affects all of us. So it's not their issue alone, it's our issue too, because we're all black, we all have the same skin color, and I don't want to be in a situation where I travel to America, to somewhere in Europe, and then I'm treated like I have some sort of disease just because I'm black, and it's just, I think it's a plague that's even far worse than coronavirus. And to have that on top of coronavirus at the moment is, it's like we're fighting on two fronts. So it's now like racism plus the coronavirus pandemic and a bunch of other things. And, us as Africans, we also have our own problems here, and I'm not even going to start talking about those because there's a lot going on. So, like I said before, it's sad and it's really, really not something that we should be having, especially in a year like this where we've got so many things happening and still people find the time to be racist. I just don't understand where that comes from and how you can be so entitled to be that, that inhumane. So,
Pure, what do you think we as Africans can learn from the ongoing protests, or rather from the Black Lives Matter movement?
Hey Ropa, I just wanted to also add on to this topic of Black Lives Matter. The thing is, most of our lives, since Africa is mostly colonized nations, we have always thought that we are the inferior people, the inferior race, the inferior people, the people who don't deserve anything that is nice, which is the wrong way of thinking. We already own a continent that is ours, and a continent that is full of our own resources that we can mine, we can get from that. So my thing for Africans is that get your own act together. Learn that people out there are going to be discriminating you every day. Jesus was killed by his own people, so people will kill you for anything. So the only way to do things is to be able to be so empowered by yourselves and empowered by everything that you do in your life that you realize that you matter at your own way, in your own pace, at everything that you're doing, and not have other people tell you that you matter. Because at the end of the day, it's all about you. It's all about you, not anyone else. Because no one is going to be there to save you when things go ham or go the wrong direction. So this is my view on this situation. And also just to tell you, protests don't work from an African standpoint of view, because corruption just does everything it wants. So
Mufaro and Helvi, the killing of black people is not new. It's just being filmed more. Do you think it will ever come to an end? And if so, how?
Today I'll be addressing Ropa's question, which is, do I think that the killing of African Americans, people's lives, is going to come to an end? I must say that it is very heartbreaking to see on videos what is happening to African Americans. But however, with that being said, had people not been able to take recordings of this, there wouldn't be like hardcore evidence, and it was also gonna be swept under the floor. So I think this is why it has been difficult to put an end to this horrible crime. I feel that if there is a bigger punishment placed on these policemen, we have heard they will just get fired or just get suspended. Even with xenophobic attacks, people will go to jail. We don't actually follow up on what happens to the people who committed these horrible crimes on African people, on black people. So I do feel that let's also shift our focus on what is the consequences. Are these people getting life imprisonment? Are they getting sent to a maximum security prison? Like, what is actually happening? Instead of just maybe putting a lot of focus on the videos, etc. But I do think that if we do consider that, I do think that making sure that justice is served might help to put an end to this, because if people are not gonna get properly punished for taking other people's lives, then they're probably gonna continue doing so.
With the recent events that have occurred, it's really difficult to remain hopeful, but I still choose to be. More and more people are being made aware of the killing of black people because so many of them have been desensitized from this topic.
Lastly, dear friends, in honor of black humanity all over the world, do you have any words of solidarity or encouragement?
Lastly, I'd just like to encourage each and every one of you to keep on posting, keep on donating, keep on signing petitions, do whatever you can do to help this movement. Change can only come forward if we all stand together and fight for it.
So I do think that we are part of this movement, a movement that fights against societies built on racist regulations or racist ideologies at the core.
All equal at some level and degree. God created everyone equal, men and women. So the only thing that you can do as a human being is to be sincere and use your conscience. Use your conscience to think that what can I do that can help me help the next person? Because even the Bible says, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. And Jesus says that the greatest commandment that I can give to you is love thy neighbor, which means that loving thy neighbor is greater than any other commandment. We are going to be judged on the commandment of love. That's the only place we're going to be judged at. And even if they hurt you, even if they kill you, show them love. Never go and attack them, because that's the thing. Show people love. Thank you.
I just want to say my position. I am against the killing of black Americans in America by white policemen. And I also feel that as a Zimbabwean staying in South Africa, I do think it is important for us not to forget that all African lives matter. And I'm also definitely against xenophobia, and it's even more serious because this is Africans killing other Africans. Every African life is important, every black life is important. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my opinion, Ropa. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.
I stand, of course, with all black lives, and I'm thankful for all those other people as well, even if you're not black or anything, who are supporting the cause, because this is the only way we'll get through it, through awareness, through education. You know, we need to show that this is a big issue, and it's, you know, it might actually be bigger than a lot of the challenges we faced in the last decade or so. So thanks to everyone who's putting their effort into this, and the only way we can get through this and coronavirus and any other thing that we're going through at the moment is by standing together and being together. So yeah, thanks for having me on your vlog, on your channel, and I hope I can feature more.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here but you're not, cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the the ones that we lost on the way, cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back you. Tip, 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 tip.